Alhamdulillah, al-fadl min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I did a research in the Quran on what are the themes in the Quran that pertain to children. Like when the Quran is talking about children, okay, what is the Quran saying? So I made this table for you with a list of themes, and I'm going to read them to you. I'm not going to read the ayahs and the surahs and so on, but I'm going to read the themes to you, okay? And let's listen to what does the Quran tell us about children. So, one of the common themes that happens over and over again, money and children are the treasures and the pleasures of this life. Reflect on that. Money and children are the treasures and the pleasures of life. Even though some of you are going, I don't know where's the pleasure in my children right now. Especially if you have young kids, you're going, they drive me crazy, okay? I'm not gaining any pleasure from them. Okay, so another theme that is also very common, it says money and children are trials for people. And they are. They are big time. Another theme that is also common, money and children would not be of benefit to you on the day of judgment. And I want you to think about that for a minute. The surahs and the ayahs that talk about that are actually very scary. That, your children, you cannot actually depend on your children for any protection, if you will, on the day of judgment. In Surah Abasa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the end of the surah, He's talking about how we on the day of judgment are running away from everybody that we know. Whether your spouses, your parents, your kids, you're running away from everybody because you are so scared. And all you want is just to be taking care of yourself. So you don't even care about your children, whom right now in this life you believe your children are everything for you. And you would die for your children. But on the day of judgment, you're not going to remember them. So keep that in mind. Okay, another theme is that you wish to avoid the punishment of the day of judgment by sacrificing your own children. That's mentioned twice in the Quran. Another theme that is also common about children is one, people are praying for their own descendants. Okay? Just like I was inviting you to make prayer for your children after you pray. Another theme, which is only once in the Quran, is you don't know between your parents and your children who is more beneficial to you. That's mentioned one time in the Quran. Another theme, okay, which is a very specific and clear ayah that says that children need to be named after their fathers. It's very clear. There's no ifs about it, okay? Another ayah that's also one time and it's very specific is that fathers are actually financially responsible for the family. There are no buts about it. Very clear too. Another theme, and this one is mentioned 4 times in the Quran, is the command not to kill your children. Now, for all of you sitting here, you're going like, of course we're not going to kill our kids. How? Who could even imagine doing such a thing? But remember that the Arabs before Islam, they actually used to kill the girls, right? Not only that. Why are we going so far away? We're talking about contemporary times, right? So who's killing their kids nowadays? Or, they've been doing it for some time. We have China, okay, because of the one-child policy, have been killing their kids, okay? And then you have also, in India, there are also reports of families killing their children for whatever reason. The shame because she's a girl or what have you. So we're not like, even in contemporary times, this is happening. And when I reflect about this command not to kill your children, I keep thinking about how many lives did Islam save by putting this command in place. Okay. The other theme is don't kill your children for the fear of poverty. And this one is mentioned 4 times in the Quran, okay, which talks exactly to what's happening in India and China. And then another theme is advising kids to worship Allah alone and other teachings. Okay, so this is your guidance, your teaching to your children. What are you teaching them? You're teaching them about Islam and the unity of Allah and the guidance of Islam. So all of those themes that I have shared with you are the themes that are pertaining to children in the Quran. So one thing that I wanted to highlight here and point your attention to is the Quranic themes. None of them give you specific rules on how to discipline your children. None. From all the themes I have shared with you, none of them are specific about discipline. Let's go to the themes in the Sunnah. Okay, what does the Sunnah say about children? The first one, narrated in Abu Dawood and Tirmizi, and it says, "He is not amongst us who doesn't treat our youngsters with mercy, nor respects our elders." That's something I'm sure you've heard so many times, right? Next one is narrated in Tirmizi, and it says, "To discipline one's child is better than to give in charity." And then the next one is, we don't know who actually said it, whether Umar ibn al-Khattab or Ali ibn Abi Talib, and it says, "Play with your children the first 7 years, discipline them another 7, befriend them the next 7 years, and then let them lead their life." I am stunned, okay, by the wisdom of our forefathers. Honestly, think about this. Especially the last sentence. You do your part, and then you need to let them lead their lives. Because your children are sometimes going to make choices that you are not going to like. Okay? And your responsibility is about teaching. You need to teach. This is your responsibility. It's on your shoulders. And you're going to use all of the 21 years, okay, early 21 years, to teach. But then after that, they have to make their decisions. They will actually make their decision. It's not like they have to. They will. Yeah. Okay, next one. And this is, let's see, Ibn Sina, the famous physician, Muslim physician. He says, "And a child should have other children whose manners are good and whose habits are acceptable, because a child learns much faster and is more willing to take from another child." Another piece of wisdom, right? Okay, about how important friends are to your children. And so this is another thing that we say in this class. You as parents have to really put effort early. So don't wait until your kids are teenagers to start putting effort into really making them befriend some really good, people. No, you need to start earlier. When they actually are biddable and when they actually can, listen to you and, follow you. Because once they hit the teen years, it's going to be somewhat tough. It's going to be somewhat challenges. Whatever, you have not established before the teen years is not going to be established during the teen years. So do a lot of work early on. The early years are very important. And that's going to save you a lot of hassle later on. Okay. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and this is something that I heard from Sheikh Muhammad Faqih. I also didn't know about this one, and this one again is profound. And it says, "Piety is from Allah and good manners are from parents." This is especially important for the parents whose children are maybe not practicing Islam the way they would like them to practice. So this is like a soothing, healing, statement here. Is, whatever your child decides in terms of, the faith is kind of like their own personal individual choice, but you have to do your part early on in terms of teaching. So you teach, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides. But you have to do the teaching, and you have to spend a lot of time on that teaching. And the last one here And this is, again, we don't know who said this one, either Ali ibn Abi Talib or Al-Hasan al-Basri, and it goes by, train your children with a different methodology than yours, for they were born for a different time than yours. Profound. Profound. Okay? And that's where positive discipline comes in. Okay? I hope you can gain also from my, from my exploration of what the Sunnah says about the children. You don't also have particular instructions on how to discipline your children. For example, if your child is having a tantrum, what are you supposed to do? I'm talking about practical, practical steps. And this is where I feel like we need to really look at what's out there, what information is out there that can help us in our dealing with disciplining our children.